A very good afternoon and welcome to Ilinden Sports Centre. Testing audio here ahead of round 27 between the Central Coast Mariners Academy and Rockdale Ilinden.
Sports Centre for this round 27 clash between Rockdale and Central Coast Mariners. The team lineups for this afternoon's picture as follows: Rockdale, number 28, Stephen Creases; number 22, Blake Rasciuto; number 9, Moody Najar; number 6, Isaac Danzo; number 88, Chris McStay; number 10, Brendan Chalakian; number 11, Lockie Constable; number 23, Oliver Pufflet; number 24, Ali Orwell; number 2, Hunter Elliott; and number 14, Braden Sorge. Substitutes for Rockdale: number 7, Ali Krzyzewski; number 18, Jerry Skatatis; number 20, Leo Hammond; number 99, Matthew Karamelowski; number 15, Daniel Ray Djurdovic; number 16, Michael Marsevsky. Our visitors, Central Coast, their team lineup is as follows: number 13, Michael Paragali; number 11, Jay Rose; number 12, Ty McKibben; number 13, Logan Sambrook; number 31, Luginga Mbolta; number 32, Shumba Mutakoi; number 23, Lawrence Taylor; number 24, Kai Schumacher; number 35, Max Miller; number 38, Harrison Jablonski; number 40, Joel Wade. Substitutes for the Mariners: number 6, Jordan Small; number 14, Angus Reid; number 19, Noah Peacock; number 20, Jay Ajanovic; number 39, Harper Riles; number 10, Ayuk Abraham Edward Mao.
The race to the finish line is well and truly on here in round 27 of New South Wales NPL men's action. A late change to this fixture, which was originally scheduled to be played on the coast. Mother Nature, with a cruel twist of fate for the Mariners, seeing this one shifted to Ilinden Sports Centre, as the Central Coast Mariners Academy, in their home away from home for the afternoon, play host to Rockdale Ilinden. Pete Pryor with you here in round 27, live from Rockdale. Absolute pleasure to have your company, as it always is, wherever it is in the world you may be watching from. The team news is in for both sides. For the Mariners, one major change of note for Lucas Valela's side. Ayuk Mo on the bench this week. Ty McKibben comes in place of Ayuk Mo. The full lineup as follows, of course. The Mariners gloveman, number 40, Joel Wade. The 3, and captain Michael Paragali. 11, Jai Rose. 12, as we said, Ty McKibben. 13, Logan Sambrook. 21, Muginga Mpota. 22, Shumba Mutakoi. 23, Lawrence Taylor. 24, Kai Schumacher. 35, Max Miller. And rounding out the starting 11 for the Mariners, 38, Harrison Jablonski. The bench made up this afternoon of Jordan Small, Ayuk Mo, Angus Reid, Noah Peacock, Harper Riles, and reserve gloveman Jai Ajanovic. As for Rockdale this afternoon, well, a few changes of note. Stealing the headlines, perhaps, is the first grade starting debut for Stephen Creases in goal. The number 2 will be Hunter Elliott. 6, Isaac Danzo. 9, Moody Najar. 10, Brendan Chalakian. 11, Lockie Constable. 14, Braden Sorge. 22, Blake Rasciuto. 23, Oliver Pufflet. 24, Ali Ugla. And 88, Chris McStay. Options on the bench for Rockdale this afternoon, including the Baker, of course, their club captain, Alek Guroshevsky, Daniel Ray Jurovic, Michael Marchevsky, Jerry Skitardis, Leo Hammond, and Matthew Karamalevsky. The Mariners weren't in action last weekend. Plume Park deemed unplayable, perhaps more suitable for water polo at the moment as well than it is for football. They've had an extra week to lick their wounds and regroup following that 3-0 defeat at the hands of fellow academy side Sydney FC. For Rockdale this afternoon, a wonderful chance to make up some ground as they look to keep their premiership hopes alive. The whistle blows and away we go here in Rockdale for round 27. The Mariners getting us underway, kicking from right to left on your screens. There's Miller and now McKibben. Schumacher. Back to Paragali. Wade will clip one out to this near touch line for Jablonski. Over the top it goes. Rose giving chase and Poacher's there first. Into touch off Sorge. Flick on there from Mpota. No one arriving though. Difficult one for Paragali to deal with. What's-a-Koyi completes the clearance. We mentioned that 3-0 defeat as we see Sambrook here. Just left it a little behind McKibben. Going back to that 3-0 defeat at the hands of Sydney FC, that put to an end a wonderful little run of form that the Mariners were in. They were 5 unbeaten up until that point, where it came really crashing down back in round 25. Results going the way that they have this weekend as well. See them back on the foot of the table. If they are able to get anything out of this one today, though, they would at least see themselves rise off the foot of the table and potentially out of the bottom two as well. Rockdale, however, desperate to keep their premiership hopes alive. 7 points behind Spirit FC, who are flying atop the table at the moment as things stand. Spirits not in action today. They were scheduled to play down at Barton Park against St George FC. That one also washed out. Mother Nature proving very adversarial for the state's top flights, particularly the Mariners. Corner for Rockdale, whipped in! Wade claims heavy contact from Sorge there. He's never afraid to put himself about. Sorge comes forward to give Joel Wade a little pat on the back there. Wade stayed down. It was pretty heavy contact. Lucas Vallela is ensuring the fourth official is aware and keeping an eye on things as well. And we spoke about the Mariners' decent little spell of form up until the other week. Rockdale, I think it's more than fair to say, have been patchy at best. Haven't tasted victory in their last 4, in fact. Jablonski into the channel it goes here for Jai Rose. Weaving inside, Sambrook spinning. Now Jablonski again, able to clip it in. It's a little too high for Mpota, but McKibben will retrieve it. Now Maxi Miller. Taylor, well, it's really fizzed in. Not sure if he was looking for the run of Miller, who was striding forward there, but it was a long way behind McKibben. Sandbrook wins it back on the far touchline, but out into touch. On Rockdale's form, they have picked up points in their last 2 encounters. 0-0 against the Wanderers last week, and 0-0 also against Sydney United the week prior, as they themselves looked to regroup following that absolute horror show for them at Christie Park back in round 24. We've spoken about how Spirit FC are absolutely flying. David Perkovich doing wonderful things at Christie Park for Spirit FC, putting 6 past Rockdale back in round 24. As we said, sees them 7 points adrift of the premiership. They did, of course, win the premiership in 2024. But improvement required in terms of their form, at the very least, if they are to have any hope of going back to back. The Mariners, of course, have a game in hand as well in their bid to stave off relegation. As we said, a point today would see them, well, it wouldn't see them off the foot of the table, of course. It would see them level on points with the Wanderers, but still anchored to the foot of the table, courtesy of the Wanderers, I should say, superior goal difference. 3 points, however, would see them up into 14th and out of the relegation zone, level on points with Mount Druitt, who themselves picked up a very handy 3 points just yesterday in their 3-1 victory over Wollongong. It's all happening at both ends of the table. Of course, Apia and Marconi in action today as well, and they're by no means out of the relegation, or not relegation, I should say, premiership race. That's the other end of the table. McStay just helps it on to Chalakian. Mariners able to shut it down and hook it clear, only as far as Sorge. Well, with Apia and Marconi in action today, as we said, of course, a great opportunity for Rockdale to maybe even climb up the table. If Marconi don't pick up points, and Rockdale do, Rockdale would go ahead of them. Rockdale currently in 4th. That's, well, it was a handy looking ball initially from McStay in the direction of Najjar. Just all too far ahead of Moody Najjar. From the eloquent boot of Chris McStay, son of a Celtic legend, of course. I'll never not mention that. Celtic themselves in action tonight. The Scottish Premiership, football returning around the world. Flicked on there by Jai Rose for Jablonski. Into the channel in the direction of Sandbrook. It's cut out by Sorge. Jablonski will nod it forwards. Here's Constable. Now, Mpota. Rasciuto's absolutely touch tight and then hauls Mpota to the deck. Tries to prevent the quick free kick, but Taylor keen to get on the move with it, and get on the move with it he does. Now, Mpota. It's Najjar tracking back. Winning it back, in fact. McStay, forward it goes. Handy little wall pass centrally from Pufflet. Here he is again. Able to open up the pitch here with Hunter Elliott. Had a head up and got his head up and assessed the options in front. Opted to try and drive around the outside of Rose, and that has support in Constable. Sorge, Rasciuto now back on halfway. Elliott. Patience in possession here. Rockdale. Elliott again, heavily involved. He'll race after this one, as will Lawrence Taylor for the Mariners. Well-timed challenge from Taylor. As the rain tumbles down here in Rockdale, Risciuto. Najjar will shift it wide. Cross is blocked. Now McKibben will race after this. Does well to keep it in play as well. Schumacher now for the Mariners. Back with Motokoye. Gets it out from his feet. And now Jablonski. Motokoye striding forward from the heart of defence as he so often does. Now Sandbrook helps it on to Jablonski. Green grass in front of him. Only momentarily though. That's a wonderful looking sliding challenge from Hunter Elliott. Tell you what, those can hurt on these synthetic surfaces as well. Didn't give it a second thought though, did he? Hunter Elliott flying in there. Taylor. Can't hold on to it though. Rockdale emerge with it through McStay. Oh, he's turned it over somewhat cheaply. Trying to link up with Chalakian. Michael Paragali barking instructions from the heart of defence. It's Schumacher! First save in first grade here for Stephen Kreesis. No Nick Soros, of course, today for Rockdale. Still out with that injury sustained a few weeks ago. No Ronan Mulgrew either. Out with illness this week. Kreesis has been getting prepared for this for a few weeks now, I'm told, and makes his debut here today. He'll certainly be happy that this fixture was shifted to Rockdale's home venue, courtesy of the wild weather. It's lashed much of the east coast. That's a handy ball for Sandbrook. Now Taylor. Mariners can't hold on to it in the middle of the park though. Well, they win it back quickly off the toe of Chalaki, and it's Taylor. McKibben now. He's just slipped on the ball, McKibben, able to regain his feet, regain his composure and find Miller. And Potter, well, that's a classic piece of centre-half work there from Risciuto. Just forcing body position ahead of Potter. It's not the first time this season that the Central Coast Mariners have been forced into a late switch of venue as well. They'll be very disappointed, particularly given the very good-looking back end of the season that they were having at home at Plume Park. They had their earlier fixture against Rockdale in the earlier rounds this season, shifted down here. It was originally meant to be at Plume. Here are Rockdale, cut into the area towards Chalakian. Last-ditch defending there from Paragali, turning it behind. The Mariners have also conceded any potential or possibility of home ground advantage, not just today, but also earlier in the season against Manly as well. And looking ahead to later this week, as they take on Marconi, travelling down to the Palace for that one. Whipped in. Slippery conditions out there, and Wade just pushes it behind for another Rockdale corner. There's got to be some sort of solution, though, for the Central Coast Mariners, whether it is working with Central Coast Football or Central Coast Council to try and prevent these sorts of situations from occurring, because they're just occurring far too often for the Mariners' liking. Risciuto has Paragali go through the back of him. And a free kick here in a pretty interesting sort of position for Rockdale as well. Chris McStay. I'd say he'd certainly be thinking about the shot from this sort of range. Definitely not beyond his capability. Certainly far enough to get the up and down. It's not McStay though, it's Ali Ugla who looked to go under the wall or through it. The wall doing its job. McKibben. Handy bit of tracking back in defensive duties there from Ty McKibben. The Mariners are adamant that should be their throw in. The referee doesn't agree. And that's the only opinion that matters out there. Is Constable. Racing after the return pass as well. Schumacher's across quickly to try and close him down, and close him down he does. Rockdale want the corner, particularly Brendan Chalakian. Vociferously appealing. Just a goal kick though. Just getting a look at the replay on the monitors here. Yet it looks like goal kick, certainly the correct decision indeed. Jablonski hoisting it forwards. McKibben, who's come a long way inside off his right wing, and turned it over in the middle of the park. Clipped over the top in the direction of Pufflet, who has Paragali for company. And now Motakui joins the party. Wins the challenge, but not the throw. Chalakian. Well, Jai Rose emerging with it. And Portad. Bounced up very awkwardly indeed for Sambrook. He's unable to retain possession. It's Rockdale again. With all the territory. Swung in by Constable. Repelled by Miller. Here's Constable. Thought about the shot. Instead just helps it in for Pufflet. Now Dunzo. Now McStay winds up from a long way out and drills it really straight into the legs of Ty McKibben. That rain is absolutely teeming down now here in Rockdale. I did get a bit of a cheeky look at the radar before kickoff. And it did look like there was a little cell emerging. Making its way in from the sea. Be hoping it passes over very quickly. I've just had to take some protective action for some of the electronics equipment here on the gantry. McStay. Clipped clear by Miller. Now Jai Rose gets a good touch to take him away from Sorge. His next touch though is a little bit heavy. It allows Rashuto to steal in. Wade. Here's Rashuto for Rockdale. Sambrook will have it back for the Mariners and clip it over the top for Mpota. He's trying to bustle his way into the area. He's held up just on the edge of the area. Moody Najjar. Again with the handy bit of defensive work. There's Motakoi just hoisting it forwards. Now Sambrook for the Mariners. Taylor stealing in as well, but they can't keep it. Hunter Elliott now for Rockdale. Sorge. Elliott again. Constable. Chalakian now. Something cooking here perhaps for Rockdale. Chalakian weaving into the area. Surrounded by yellow shirts. He'll clip it towards the back post. The flag's up though. Ali Ugla with a free header. The Rockdale bench perhaps didn't see the flag go up. And there were some cries of derision at Ali Ugla being unable to hit the target on that occasion. Expecting better. Motakoi, again, was looking to stride forward from the heart of defence, but blocked off by Pufflet. Schumacher spraying one out to the far touchline. Spotted the run there forward from Max Miller, bombing forward from fullback. Just a little too far ahead of the young right back of the Mariners, though. Here's Constable, inverting from his usual right wing position. And then taking away the legs of his opposite, number 11, in Gyros. Jablonski, Rose. Looks to return it to Jablonski. Final touch off Danzo. Jablonski will hoist it back into play. McKibben helps it on towards Rose. Surrounded. Well, there's a couple of afters here between McStay and Dry Rose. It's needless, really. McStay perhaps just trying to get into the head of the young Mariners winger. McStay gets it back from Pufflet as well. This is promising for Rockdale. Oglar hoisted into the area. It's all too deep though, and Schumacher able to take a couple of touches to bring it under control and then find the feet of Rose. Taylor now. Runs into traffic but retains it initially and then conceding the throw. It's a good sliding challenge as well to win the throw from Hunter Elliott. But then Constable just got it trapped under his feet a little bit there. Lockie Constable. It's one who doesn't mind a goal against the Mariners. Scored a brace, of course, when these sides last met at Plume Park in a 2-1 victory for Rockdale. Of course, they haven't met at Plume Park this season, though. And it's weather just like this that has prevented that from occurring. Hooked over the top from Pufflet to find Constable. Now Chalakian! Good save, Joel Wade. Sprawling down low, very snappy to his right. And a strong paw to it as well. Danger's not quite done with just yet. Hooked in by Oglar towards Constable. Repels initially, and the whistle will go to release that pressure valve. Jablonski it is, I think, who's stayed down there. Heavy contact. Back underway. It's a ball and all sliding challenge, and it's opened up a bit of space here for Pufflet, but he remains in an offside position. And the chance is taken away even quicker, even more quickly, I should say, than it presented itself. Here's Mpotu, who's stolen a march on Rashuto here. He's got Rose wide, but the passing lane blocked off. Now Rockdale look to get forward and transition rapidly. McStay's done well to keep it in play. It's a good-looking ball as well, ahead of Ollie Pufflet. And I'll tell you what, there's been a couple of afters off the ball between Pufflet and Paragali, and Paragali stayed down on the edge of the area. The referee might have some sorting out to do here. I'm not sure if the lines person on this near side had a view of that. Joel Wade's certainly asking the question. Paragali's still down. It was a tussle between he and Ollie Pufflet as Pufflet made his way back. Well, no further sanction forthcoming. A bit of spice in this one here at Ilinden Sports Centre. On we go. Constable. McStay. Bundled off it by Schumacher. Good physical contest there between the two of them. Now Sambrook finds Miller. It's a little ways ahead of him though. Ali Ogla able to steal in and win it off the toe of Max Miller. McKibben does well to retain possession. Paragali. Sambrook helps it on. Sorge is there first. Now McKibben, slide rule ball, looking to find the run of Mporta. Sorge is there first. Sorge plays it straight to the feet of McKibben, who does well to spin and swivel away from his opponent. Now the Mariners might look to stretch the pitch here with Jablonski. Well, it's just left a little bit short of Harry Jablonski. Constable telegraphing that one and stealing in. Here's Dunzo. Just trying to get some updates on the goings on elsewhere in the league. Just the one match, as we said, taking place elsewhere. Apia and Marconi doing battle. Second and third. The rain is playing a bit of havoc with some of the electronics here on the gantry. So we'll try and bring you updates as and where we can. But very much focused on live action here at Ilinden Sports Centre. The Mariners looking to hoist themselves off the foot of the table, but it's Rockdale on the march here as they look to close the gap at the top of the table. Constable playing one into the area. Motakui there first, but just rushing his clearance somewhat. Sliced into touch. Wasn't far from going behind for a corner, in fact. Elliott across to take the throw. Chalakian. Constable, the flag's up, he's offside. Unforced error there. Wade will resume hostilities here. It's Oglar on halfway though. Little reverse pass for Chalakian. Wants to isolate McKibben here. McKibben staying pretty well touch tight. And then getting a good toe in on the little back heel from Chalakian. Mariners able to clear as far as halfway. Here's Chalakian again though. Rashuto. Chalakian's the wall pass. Mariners back in numbers, and again it's McKibben winning the throw off the legs of McStay. And we can now bring you that update from elsewhere, from the Palace. Marconi have just scored. They lead up by a goal to nil. Rose flicked over the top for Sambrook, who guides it back to Jai Rose. Looks to shimmy and wriggle his way inside, and then it just ran away from him. Constable will complete the clearance to Pufflet. He looks to twist and turn and try and tie up Shumba Motakui. Paragali playing covering defender. They're penned back in their own half again, though, the Mariners. There's Constable. McStay. Elliott. Rockdale again now just looking to settle in possession. Hoisted back into play by Jablonski, who will have to repeat the task again. McKibben. Bit of pinball off the back of the head of Chalakian, and Chalakian emerges with it via Oglar, and now Pufflet. Paragali watching him wide. Just holding him up and awaiting the supporting cast defensively. Mariners able to get numbers back behind the ball now. Rockdale will try and play through the lines here. Unable to do so. Very good defensive work again from Max Miller to win it off the toe of Najjar. Paragali. Now, Miller. You just hear Lucas Villela on the touchline instructing Harry Jablonski, the left fullback, to play higher. He duly obliges. Ball from Joel Wade was just a little too narrow, though, allowed Hunter Elliott to steal in there. Danzo trying to wriggle his way free from the attention of Sambrook. Taylor has his legs taken away on the way through, but he didn't have possession. And on we go. Najjar, Oglar. First time pass for Danzo, who returns a favour. First time pass was just left a little behind Ali Oglar. Well, chances so far in this one at a bit of a premium. Joel Wade's been forced into a very good save. The Mariners so far remaining defensively resolute. As they have throughout much of the back end of the season. As we said, we spoke about their great little spell of form, the 5 games they went unbeaten. They've got a pretty tough task ahead of them today, though, as Pufflet strikes. It was being forced wide by Mutakui, who was making sure that everything was covered, and then Joel Wade drawn into a save, just smothering the ball. Good looking ball here to find Taylor. First time cross towards Mpota. Hunter Elliott stretching to prevent the cross reaching Muginga Mpota. It was just about free as a bird in the centre of the penalty area there as well. The Mariners looking to catch Rockdale napping perhaps. Schumacher, great strength to hold off the challenge of Danzo. Mariners will have the throw again on that far touchline. Here in their home away from home, as we said. Schumacher. Rose just got underneath it. Jai Rose, it looked like it did just bounce up a little bit as it reached the right boot of Jai Rose. Creasus sending everyone forward, no interest in playing out from the back for the young Gloveman. Here's Oglar. Bit of space to work with. Chalakian, Oglar again. Cross will come over everyone's head. Rose will retrieve. Trying to evade the attention of Chalakian. He's done well. Now, Mpota, centrally. Driven straight into the legs of Rashuto, who then just bundles McKibben off it. Paragali carrying it forward. Rose, who's inverted here, finds Max Miller with a good-looking ball. First time cross into the area. Sorge got himself a little bit tangled there, but he's done well enough to take all the sting out of it, and Creasus will just pluck that off the deck. McStay has Schumacher for company. A short pass for Danzo. McStay again, back with Rashuto. Swung wide for Moody Najjar into the channel towards Chalakian. Marshalled to great effect by McKibben. He's been very good in his little cameos from what we've seen so far this season, Ty McKibben. Looks like he may have just switched roles with Lawrence Taylor as well for the time being at least. McKibben playing more centrally alongside Kai Schumacher. Taylor's drifted wide to form what seems like a bit of a front three. Lucas Valela's perhaps seen something there and reacted to it. Opportunity perhaps, but it's Rockdale on the ball. McStay, a metronome in midfield, keeps things ticking. Chalakian cuts out by Miller. Paragali under pressure from Pufflet again, and it's not the first coming together between those two. Paragali just walking it forward and then opting to go back to Wade. It's under a bit of pressure here from Pufflet as well. Cool as you like though, Joel Wade. Now Paragali striding over halfway. Still carrying it here, and now Rose. Flicked past to find Jablonski, who will strike. Not the cleanest of efforts though from Harry Jablonski. Just kind of skewed off the underside of his boot and did reach Mpota. But behind for just a goal kick. The Mariners have grown into this one though, seemingly. Every avenue they find going forward will, at the very least, buoy their spirits. Jablonski winning that aerially ahead of Constable. But it's McStay now. And here is Constable. Inside it goes, helped on by Chalakian towards Pufflets. Paragali did enough to disrupt the flow. Motakoi will hook it clear. Still it's Rockdale with Elliott. Across the back it goes from Sorge to Rashuto. Rashuto, who was carrying it forward and looking for the pass to Oglar. He's turned it over, though, to Taylor, who in turn has just left it behind him, Porter. As quick as a flash, any potential for a lightning counter-attack is extinguished. McStay. He's been busy, workmanlike, buzzing around everywhere today. I say today like it's the first time. It's certainly not, I can assure you of that. Sorge. Elliott's first time cross is going to go behind. The cry from the Rockdale bench was touch and deliver. Hunter Elliott instead opting for the first time cross. He did perhaps have enough time to take a touch and set himself. On we go, though. If you are just joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube pages, absolute pleasure to have your company from Rockdale. Pete Pryor with you, still deadlocked here between the Mariners Academy and Rockdale Ilinden. Here's Najjar, and now Oglar. Looking to get the better of Max Miller here. Twisting and turning. Short pass for Dunzo, who returns it straight to Oglar, who will just flick it wide again for Najjar. McStay. Mariners just, or Rockdale I should say, just trying to pull the Mariners out of position. Max Miller holding firm, getting body position there in front of Najjar. He's forced straight into touch, though. Well cut out in turn from Schumacher, who will affect the clearance. Mpota and Rashuto are tussling off the ball as well, as Mpota was trying to get after the clearance. Mpota will now receive it. Leaves a little bit behind Sambrook. Cleaned up by Elliott. And then Chalakian is cleaned up by Schumacher. Keen to get back on the move. And on the move they go with Ali Oglar. Little layoff for Constable. Blocked off. Still they come through Elliott. It's a Mariner who's had his legs taken away. And oof, there's another Mariner who's had his legs taken away as well. In the form of Lawrence Taylor, who was trying to carry it clear. Well, they're up for the battle today, are the Mariners. Certainly no shortage of physicality in the contests between these two sides. Little jewels popping up everywhere, on and off the ball. It's Miller. Back on halfway to Shumba Mutakui. Well, that's a very handy looking ball into the channel to find Jablonski. And a very well-timed sliding challenge from Hunter Elliott, who, well, has a few little afters there at Harry Jablonski as well. Referee just giving Hunter Elliott a bit of a talking to. The first corner of the afternoon for the Central Coast. I'm just having a look in the middle of the area as well, as McKibben's right on top of Stephen Kreizes. A tester for the young goalkeeper here, perhaps. Rose and Jablonski both standing over the corner. Jablonski, of course, the left-footed option. It will be Rose, though, to swing this one in, right on the edge of the 6-yard box, where Sorge was watching it like a hawk. It's kind for McKibben, though. McKibben will strike into a sea of red and black. Rose now shimmying, slaloming, twisting, turning, slipping. Constable. Oh, it's a very handy-looking hook over the top from Pufflet. And now it's Oglar. And now it's Pufflet! And it's a very, very good save once again from Wade. Well, this young man has been drawn into two very, very good saves this afternoon here in Rockdale. As we see the board go up for added time, it'll just be the 1 minute. And Rockdale, with the set piece, looking to break Mariners' hearts right on the stroke of half-time, perhaps. It's swung in. It's right on top of Wade. Well, he's had to come a little ways to get it, in fact. Got a fist to it. It wasn't convincing. The strike on the swivel from Chris McStay. Watched all the way behind. Now this time, Wade will have absolutely no interest in playing short from the resultant goal kick. Just a few seconds to go until the interval. Still 0-0 here in Rockdale between the Mariners and Rockdale Ilinden. An intriguing opening 45 minutes between these two sides. A fixture that was shifted oh so late in the piece from the coast down to Rockdale. The Mariners in their home away from home today have grown into this one quite nicely. Still 45 minutes of action to come, but we are off for a short break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for the second half in about 15 minutes' time. very warm welcome back indeed to Ilinden Sports Centre here in the heart of Rockdale for round 22nd, the second half of this clash between the Central Coast Mariners Academy and Rockdale Ilinden. Chances at a bit of a premium in the opening stanza. The Mariners, for the most part, remaining fairly defensively resolute. Rockdale huffed and puffed, but couldn't quite make the breakthrough they so desperately crave. A couple of changes at the interval for Lucas Vallela's side. In come Noah Peacock and Harper Riles to lead the line. 45 minutes of action to come. 45 minutes to see if we can separate these two sides. Rockdale to get us back underway for the second stanza. Kicking from right to left on your screens for this second half. And McKibben emerging with it for the Mariners. They want the handball. They'll have the handball. Confirmation on those changes for the Mariners. Mulgingot Porter takes his leave as McKibben is dragged back by Danzo. Logan Sambrook, the other party, withdrawn. Lucas Vallela maybe just looking for a different dynamic up top. Noah Peacock, of course, opened his account a couple of weeks ago for the Mariners. Ably assisted by Harper Riles, of course. Dry Rose was involved in the goal as well. In that 4-2 victory, it was the goal that really sealed the affair for the Mariners in their last victory, which was over St George FC. Could he be the difference today? Mutakui back on halfway for the Mariners. Jablonski sends it into the wide area in the direction of Rose, and Riles comes across to effect the challenge, illegally so, on Hunter Elliott. McKibben centrally for the Mariners. Runs into traffic in the form of Chris McStay. Now Chalakian looking to open up the pitch. Jablonski getting there first, and now Rose trying to get ahead of Elliott. Two hands in the back of Hunter Elliott, though, who had favourable body position. Rockdale keen to get things on the move quickly. Maybe looking to just increase the tempo. Turn the screws a little bit here on this young Mariners side as Ali Ogla brushes past Miller. Now Pufflet twisting and turning back onto his left now, pulls it into the area. The strike will come. It's blocked initially. McStay will get the strike away and drawing yet another very good save out of Joel Wade. That's 3 for the afternoon by my count. That one, perhaps the pick of the bunch. I fancy you would have seen it late, Joel Wade. Stretching every fibre of his being across to his left to tip it behind. Exceptional piece of shot stopping again from Joel Wade. They've got a corner to deal with now, though. Corner is swung in towards the penalty spots. Rising is Jablonski. Nods it clear initially. Constable tries to send it back, but the Coast emerge clear with it. A little bit too much on the pass there from Peacock. Hunter Elliott will carry it forwards. Sorge stealing it ahead of Rose. Over the touchline it goes again, though. Mutakui. Again, good touch to get it out from under his feet and go back and use Joel Wade and Mutakui now again with the opportunity to stride forwards. Runs into Ogla though and forced back. Jablonski will help it on back to Wade. Chalakian's coming forward to apply a little bit of pressure. My apologies, it was Schumacher in fact who helped it back to Wade. Incidental in any case. Well, thankfully, after that absolute battering of rain that we copped in the first stanza, it seems the clouds have somewhat parted. The sun starting to peek through a little bit. Good little flicked header here to find the feet of Riles. Jablonski keeps going. Now Rose. He's got Taylor as an option. He also has Peacock. Now Rose. Now it is Taylor. Taylor! Just tailing away from that far post. Harper Riles was arriving. Just a little way ahead of the Mariners 39. They're starting to ask some questions here. The Central Coast. Miller, touch tight to Ogla. Ogla turns around him, but doesn't turn around the attention of Taylor. Mutakoi under a bit of pressure from Pufflets, who's left a bit on Mutakoi there, who has gone down, and this does not look good. Immediate concerns for the welfare of Shumba Mutakoi. The yellow card is brandished in the direction of Oliver Pufflets, but the immediate concern is certainly for the well-being of the young Mariners centre half, Shumba Mutakoi. Still prone on the turf. Just 16 years of age, of course. Young Shumba Mutakoi thrust into the first team following a number of departures of key personnel, including the likes of Rocco Smith and Luca Pecora, Ben Mewett as well. 3/4 of the Mariners' back line moving on to pastures new in the mid-season window. He's back to his feet now. Good signs for the young man who has a promising future ahead of him. But perhaps the curse of the commentator striking there as he's given it away to Constable. Constable gets the return pass in the half space. Flag is up though. Rose. He just tries to help it on, but Elliott's there first. Finds McStay. McStay thought he'd won the throw-in, but final touch is in fact off the Rockdale central midfielder. Najar just slips. Rashuto will clean it up though. Hoisting it forward. Mutakoi is there first and forced into touch under the pressure of Pufflets. Danzo, Chalakian, shifts it to McStay. This time it's Paragali stealing in there ahead of Pufflets. So a couple of potential flashpoints in the opening 45 between Paragali and Pufflets. Pufflet, who's toiled hard up top, leading the line for Rockdale today in the absence of Alek Goroshevsky. He's still an option on the bench, of course. Top goal scorer this season. Is there ever going to be a season where we don't say that about Alek Goroshevsky? The Baker, of course. What a weapon to be able to bring off the bench. See if he can cook something up. Hoisted back into play towards Pufflet. Schumacher and Mutakoi doubling up on Pufflet there to win it back. Rasciuto's there ahead of Riles. Jai Rose has just handled that one on the far touchline. Moody Najjar. Ogla. Stolen in there by Taylor. They can't retain it though, and Chalakian now finds a pocket of space. Driving into the area, pulled back towards the penalty spot, repelled by Schumacher. And now McKibben with the chance to carry it forward. Taylor trying to swivel around the outside of Najjar. Only into touch though, and Najjar hoists it back into Chalakian on the edge of the area. McStay got his head up, does strike, but just drags it. The left foot of McStay not effective on this occasion. Did draw a very, very good save out of Joel Wade in the opening minutes of the second half. That one not with the same level of accuracy required to pose any real threat, cast any real shadow on the Mariners' goal. And on we go. Elliott, again, just looking to link up with Chalakian, and again, it's Schumacher sliding in. Crucial toe in to just prod it into touch on the far touch line. Najjar clipped forwards, looking for the path of Ogla. Miller watched it all the way over his head. Have it straight back though, Rasciuto. Najjar utilising the full width of the pitch and stolen in by Taylor with a good looking release here to find Peacock, who's got Sorge for company. Peacock's going to go direct for goal.
For the children on the field of play behind the southern goal, please off the field of play, thank you.
Fairly simple take for Stephen Kreizis. In goal this afternoon, as we said, no Soros available, still injured. Danzo, again looking to stretch the pitch here. McStay, Danzo again. Danzo. Pushing and probing and trying to find an opening here, Rockdale. One might have just appeared on the edge of the area. Half-hearted appeals after the challenge from McKibben. Nothing doing though. Still they come through Najjar. Clipped into touch by Miller. Mariners again able to get numbers. Back everyone behind the ball. Everyone inside the Mariners half for Rockdale. Worked into the area again, turning his Pufflet, striking his Pufflet. And just scoops over the crossbar from Ollie Pufflet. That's the best size of goal they've had, I fancy. Frustration very apparent on the Rockdale bench, just in front of our broadcast position here. To wonder if there may be changes abound sooner rather than later. Rose hauled down on halfway by Danzo. Rose wants to get on with it quickly. Danzo and then McStay dropping back to prevent the quick free kick. Back underway now, though, with Paragali. Into the channel it goes. Slide rule ball looking for Miller. Rashuto's there first and has to get a touch on it to poke it behind. Corner for the Coast. Again, it's Jablonski and Rose. Meeting of the minds over the set piece. Jablonski, the left-footed in-swinging option, as we said. Lawrence Taylor initially came across to offer another short option, but Jablonski will send it back in right on top of the goalkeeper, who gets a very strong paw to it indeed. It's a good stop from Krisis, and it had to be. Danger's not done with just yet. Well, yes, it is. Halted by the linesperson's flag on this near touchline. The offside, the guilty party, Michael Paragali. Real nosebleed sort of territory, the centre half there. Was involved in one of the Mariners' goals against St George, though, from a similar sort of situation, Michael Paragali. Retrieving the ball after a corner and providing the secondary assist, really. It's Oglar. And again, Miller was tight to him all the way along the line. Cross into the legs of Max Miller, and behind it goes this time for a Rockdale corner. Taken short. A little variation on the angle here. McStay. Swept in by Chalakian. Centrally, the header will arrive from Najjar. Joel Wade happy to watch that just float over the crossbar in the end. We said the sun was slowly starting to peek through the clouds, I should say. It's just about absolutely beaming down on us now. Slowly setting off to the west of us here. Joel Wade's nearly played his way into trouble, but how's the feet from Shumba Mutakoi to create a couple of yards of space and a couple of seconds of thinking time as well. Eventually Wade does clear, but only as far as halfway. Then Oglar has slipped, and now McKibben picks it up for the Mariners. Miller, who looks to burst forward on the near touchline. Miller going on a bit of an adventure here. Goes past Rashuto. Still going here is Miller. And then running into Najjar. Schumacher to retrieve it for the Mariners. And there's a few afters here off the ball between the two number 24s. In Oglar and Schumacher. And the referee's got some sorting out to do here. Lawrence Taylor coming across to play peacemaker. Meanwhile, just in front of us here on the near touchline, Brendan Chalakian has gone down in a heap and crying out in pain. That is not a good look for Rockdale. That is not good news indeed for their number 10. Referee checking on the well-being of Brendan Chalakian, who hobbles away gingerly. And it looks like we're going to have a restart via the drop ball. I'm never not going to say this, but bring back the old school drop balls. I'm just keeping an eye on Brendan Chalakian here because he is not moving freely at all. Rockdale may be forced into a change quite soon. For the time being, on we go with Taylor for the Mariners. Over the top in the direction of Peacock. Sliding in there effectively was McStay, who's been just about everywhere. I'd be fascinated to see his heat map after this one. Fancy it'd just be a giant rectangle of red. We're over the hour mark, I should say, here in Rockdale. Round 27 between the Mariners and Rockdale Ilinden. Still deadlocked between these two sides. So much at stake for both sides. Might see this start to open up a little bit more as time ticks on throughout the course of the final half hour or so. Here's Rashuto. Pufflet's a wall pass, and not a very effective one, and apologies if you heard any of that language coming through from Ali Ogla. Jai Rose clipped over the top towards Jablonski, bursting into the area. Very effectively marshalled indeed, but behind it goes for a corner, and the Mariners are absolutely apoplectic, absolutely adamant that there was a handball in amongst all the chaos. The linesperson on this near touch line is communicating with the referee over the radio, and the referee is going to come over and have a bit of a word. Well, we've seen penalty drama between the Mariners and Rockdale at this venue before as well. Close consultation between the officials here. Could we have a twist in the tail? A crucial moment, perhaps. And it looks like just a corner at the end of it. Well, the Mariners still remonstrating. I don't want to speculate too much, but from my vantage point, it seems like the correct call. Be fascinated to see the replay, but sadly I've had to take the monitors down after the downpour in the first half. On we go. Swept in towards the head of Paragali. Flag is up, so I fancy that's gone out of play. Now, you may be able to hear through the effects mic the frustration. This one is certainly a tense affair. Rockdale becoming increasingly desperate, and that can force moments like that. McStay, unlike him, just leaving it behind Najjar. Usually unerring in his ball movement. Miller hoists it back in towards Taylor. Now Schumacher, marshalled by McStay. Jablonski fizzed in towards Taylor. Najjar gets there ahead of him. Najjar will have it back. Dunzo. Jai Rose wins it back on halfway for the Mariners. Taylor, forward it goes for Rose. Rashuto coming across quickly, takes away the legs of Rose. Contact purely incidental though. Just a throw in. You can barely look away for a second. The temperature gauge certainly going up. Brendan Chalakian was just getting some running repairs. Bit of the magic spray on this near touchline, and now getting a bit of a talking to from the referee for receiving unauthorised treatment. Just a ticking off. It's all happening here in Rockdale. Ogla, McStay now. McStay emerging clear with it. And striding forward, carrying it forward over halfway. Pufflet, he's offside. It's a very good save from Wade, who wasn't to know the flag was up. And Wade gives Pufflet a little serve on the way back as well. I wasn't sure if the flag was going to come in the end, to be honest. It did look like a very nicely weighted ball from Chris McStay. It was indeed a very nicely weighted ball, but the run perhaps just going a fraction of a second early from Ollie Pufflet. Take nothing away from the save from Joel Wade, though. Again, just about at full stretch. Meanwhile, we'll take the opportunity to take you through what's happening at the Palace. Tyron Burney scored for Marconi after 22. Farinella equalised for Apia after 25. Fabian Monge put Marconi back in the ascendancy before Denmead equalised once again for Apia on the stroke of half-time. And there's just been another goal for Marconi. Now, if you were to look up the definition of ding-dong affair in the dictionary, I think they would just show you a picture of that game. But don't you dare change the channel. Of course, plenty of intrigue in this fixture. The tension is absolutely palpable here. It looks like Rockdale are going to go to their bench in just a moment. Not before Miller gets us back underway. Jai Rose, little flick around the corner, and he'll pick up his own flick as well. Dancing feet now from Rose. Goes around the outside of Dunzo and McStay. And now McStay, oof. Again, perhaps needless, and not the first time that McStay and Jai Rose have had a little exchange, shall we say. Rockdale will now take the opportunity to go to their bench. Jerry Skitardis being introduced for Brendan Chalakian. A bridge too far to continue. He makes his way to the bench very gingerly. On comes a 25-year-old, Jerry Skitardis. Walking a bit of a tightrope at the moment is Jerry Skitardis in terms of yellow cards. He's had 4 for the season. He's been walking that tightrope for quite some time, well, since round 23. With the tension as high as it is, he'll be desperately trying, I'm sure, to stay out of the referee's notebook and stay out of trouble. As Pufflet is dragged down by Paragali. And again, a couple of little afters, handbags, nothing more. No shortage of feeling here in Rockdale. The young Mariners perhaps trying to get under the skin of the more experienced Rockdale outfit, of course. It's McStay to hoist this one into the area. Great looking tail. Sorge! Oh, what a save again. Joel Wade, take a bow. The flag's up again on that far touchline. But Joel Wade is having an absolute day out. Wonderful, whipped, wicked delivery from Chris McStay, that cultured right boot of his. Braden Sorge put just about everything in the kitchen sink behind the header. Joel Wade once again equal to it. Still they come here, Rockdale. It's Ogler. Skitardis, it just ran away from him there. Schumacher able to steal in, but he can't keep it. Rashuto on halfway. Now wide it goes for Najjar. Ogler hooks it into the area. Cleared initially, and this time is Rockdale absolutely howling for a penalty. And once again waved away by the man in the middle, Skitardis. Dunzel. Skitardis. Building here nicely, Ogler. The header from McStay. It was right on top of him before he knew it. And it was an awkward sort of height as well for the Rockdale Maestro. In the end, over the bar it goes once more. Signs of danger imminent though. Rashuto again winning the aerial duel. Ogler. He'll have it back from Skitardis as well. Driving inside, and now McStay on halfway. Elliott just helps it on to Sorge. Sorge just looking to dictate the terms on which they play the game here, Rockdale. They've lost out centrally. Jai Rose emerging with it, driving it forward, straight onto the head of Sorge. McStay, cute little back heel. Gets the return pass as well, McStay. Now Dunzo. Pass is just left a little bit behind Najjar, but comfortably retrieved. Oglar returns it to Najjar, who just slips. Slippery surface here, of course, the synthetic at Rockdale after the deluge that we had in the opening 45. Nice little back heel, that is, from Najjar. Or from Oglar, I should say. Now it is Najjar. Juggling his way towards the edge of the area. Pufflet. McStay just closed in around him very quickly. Scatata sort of having a big swing at it. Then pulled out of it very late. Peacock's gone down in a heat just in front of us here after contact from Risciuto. Well, Paul D is none too happy on the Rockdale bench. I can tell you that for free. The Lions person on this near touchline has had to come over and try and placate the situation for a few members of the Rockdale technical staff. Frustration evident. Peacock's back up and about. He will have to leave the field of play though. Rockdale will get us back underway. Risciuto, Dunzel. They are going to go to their bench again very shortly. Najjar. Pass is blocked off by Taylor. He's been very good today as well, Taylor. Playing much wider than we're perhaps used to seeing him. Rockdale able to force a way through though. Dunzel clipped into the area, flags up against Constable. It did certainly look like he was lurking in an offside position, and we are going to see activity on both benches. Firstly for the Mariners, Ty McKibben, who's put in a shift and a half in the centre of the park. He'll be replaced by Jordan Small. And the Baker. Well, we posited the question, when would we see the introduction of Alec Goroshevsky? He's on in place of Lockie Constable. Immediately takes the armband from Braden Sorge. And he will lead the line now for the final knockings of this one. But it's the Mariners. It's Jai Rose who has his legs clipped there by Sorge. The whistle does go this time. Well, certainly a little ways out, perhaps too far to think about the direct route to goal. Stephen Kreizis in goal for Rockdale, barking instructions at his defensive line, ensuring the wall is set just so. Jablonski to deliver. Clipped in, Risciuto rising and nodding clear. McStay again, the Mariners are asking the question of a handball there against McStay. Arms were down by his side though. Well, where do we go from here? Here's Elliott. Elliott again, this time marshalled by Rose. Not giving him an inch. Elliott's able to dig it out eventually. Link up with Sorge and Risciuto, and Najjar now just lets it roll in front of him and lets it roll all the way through to Ali Oglar. Jordan Small effecting a very good challenge on Oglar and now marching forward. Little reverse pass here for Royals! They've only gone and done it! The Central Coast Mariners breaking with speed, with purpose, with intent. And Harper Riles finishing into the top corner with aplomb. The Mariners hit the front against Rockdale. They've flipped the script here at Ilinden Sports Centre. It's Harper Riles 1. It's the Central Coast Mariners 1. And it's Rockdale 0. Still 10 or so minutes of regulation time to be played here at Ilinden Sports Centre. This one is by no means done yet. The very premise of the NPL men's competition is absolute twists and turns, and I'm sure we've got a few more of those to contend with here. Good looking ball inside here for Elliott. Now, Uroshevsky, well, Paragali across to steal in ahead of Alek Uroshevsky. Acutely aware of the danger that man possesses. Little back heel from McStay, Pufflets, Uroshevsky. Just shifts it on. Now it's Oglar. Inside it goes for Najjar. Jordan Small watched him all the way and watches it all the way behind for a goal kick. Jordan Small, well, that's two very key pieces, very key moments he's been involved in since his recent introduction. Provided what was a superb assist, really. We can speak ad nauseum about the finish from Harper Riles, the coolness, the calmness, the composure to find the top corner. But it's all about the weight of the pass from Jordan Small. Absolutely sensational from the Mariners' number 6. He's been slowly working his way back to full fitness. Oh, that's a lovely touch from Oglar. Again, he's marshalled all the way by Paragali. Plays it back to Najjar. Now McStay. Inside it goes for Oglar. Crosses straight into the legs of a couple of defenders. Peacock will just hook it clear over his shoulder. Rasciuto will pluck it out of the air on halfway. How's your touch, Blake Rasciuto? Not bad, he says. Chris McStay. Oh, that's a good piece of defending from Miller, not diving in there. Pass from Peacock, though, is just a little ways ahead of Geordie Small. Rasciuto now. And Skitardis back on halfway to Sorge. Elliott's. Harper Riles stealing in. Pops out kindly for Peacock. Pass is just left a little bit behind. Dry Rose, though. Recall very similar circumstances a couple of seasons ago at this venue where the Mariners were scheduled to play against Rockdale at Pluim Park. The game was shifted down here due to weather. We'll just see how this plays out with Oglar. Jablonski nods it clear as far as McStay. McStay on the edge of the area. Has support in the form of Elliott, who will cross straight into the body of Jablonski. Back on that game a couple of seasons ago here at Ilinden Sports Centre, Bailey Brantman did put the Mariners ahead on that evening, but Rockdale in the late stages scored the equaliser from a corner in the second half before Alek Uroshevsky with a superb piece of skill. The acrobatic bicycle kick. Corner is swung in. Nodded wide this time. The Mariners are going to their bench once more. Ayukmo rested today in favour of Ty McKibben. It's just about to be introduced, stripped and readied for the final minutes of this one. Jai Rose, who's got through a mountain of work today,
Substitution for the Mariners coming off as
will be withdrawn. Like for like change, really. Ayukmo to provide an injection of energy for the Mariners. Nice little clip over the top there from Taylor. Backspin was nearly very favourable for Small, but Rasciuto was alert to it and gets there ahead of Small. Miller picks out the pass and then skips inside of Skitardis very nicely indeed. Mutakui, well, he's being harassed and harried by Chris McStay. Cool as you like. Trusting the feet of Joel Wade. Send it up towards Peacock. Prosciutto wins it favourably. Skotadis to the feet of Urushevsky. The Baker crosses straight into the arms of Wade. They've got another ball on the pitch as well. Multi-ball chaos. Joel Wade will get us back underway. Up into the afternoon sky it goes. Rising was Najjar. Bounces kindly for Peacock, but Small. That's heavy contact on Jordan Small, who's only just, as we said, worked his way really back to full fitness, back into the first team. Off the bench today. Wearing some scars of war for sure. It was he who served up the ball on a platter for Harper Riles. His goal proving the difference between these two sides here as we eke into the final 5 or so minutes at Ilinden Sports Centre. We can update you on proceedings elsewhere as well at the Palace. Still 3-2 in favour of Marconi over Apia. St George FC and Spirit FC postponed, of course. Troubles with the grass at Barton Park at the moment. Still one more game to come as well outside of that for round 27. As Noah Peacock, that's a lovely little nutmeg on Najjar. Gets his cross in. Picked out by Sorge. Now Prosciutto. McStay using the full width of the pitch there, and Peacock racing across to effect the challenge. That final game will be on Wednesday night at Sydney United Sports Centre as they host Blacktown City. Of course, that one was originally scheduled for today, but Sydney United in action elsewhere in the Australia Cup against Sydney FC. And if you don't want a spoiler for that one, block your ears now. Sydney FC do lead that by 1-0. Australia Cup action elsewhere. Nunawading City hosting Wellington Phoenix. That one still deadlocked into the 90th minute there as well. Meanwhile, on we go at Ilinden Sports Centre as McStay wins it on halfway. And now Urushevsky. McStay's got a few yards of space to measure this one. First time cross is found wanting. Small is back up and about. Good news for the Mariners. Oh, and Riles, had he made the right connection with that pass, could have released Peacock. As it goes, it's Ayuk Mo. It's now Prosciutto on halfway for Rockdale. Carries it over halfway. Has Lawrence Taylor keeping him company. Instead uses his number 23 in Pufflet. And now Prosciutto. Clearance from Jablonski was rather emphatic. Whistle does go for the handball in the end. Mariners in no real hurry to get on with it as it stands, as one might understand. Things have not been favourable for the Coast over the last few weeks. As we said, the match against Marconi last week postponed, now scheduled to be played at Marconi, losing a home game there, losing a home game today, after Plume Park once again deemed not fit, not playable, and fair enough too. Chaotic weather on the Coast over the last few weeks. Through it all so far, smiling in the face of adversity. It's not finished yet though. Elliott, Urushevsky goes down. Referee considers the scene, had a very good view of it as well, and just waves Alek Urushevsky back up. The appeals for the penalty were not overly vociferous, half-hearted perhaps at best. which goes to tell you just about enough. Here's McStay, looking to dazzle his way through. Cross again is blocked and repelled and hooked clear by Taylor. Bouncing ball is recovered by Rashuto. Flooding forwards in numbers here are Rockdale before Jordan Small picks the pocket of his opposite number 6 in Dunzel. And now Mo weaving through a couple of challenges and traffic, and then that's a cynical sort of challenge really from Hunter Elliott, and a fairly easy yellow card to give for the referee as well, as Ayok Mo looked to advance over halfway. Hunter Elliott getting nowhere near the ball and just halting the advance of the Mariners number 10. Through the regulation 90, we're going to see 4 minutes of time added on here at Pluim Park. Well, not at Pluim Park, of course, at Ilinden Sports Centre. 4 minutes for Rockdale to try and find something, anything, to get back into this one. As we've seen another yellow card brandished, I think this time in the direction of, is that Harry Jablonski? For his, well, shall we say, lack of urgency in taking the throw. Yellow card, I'm sure he'll be happy enough to receive. I fancy we may see one more change for the Central Coast Mariners as well as time ticks away. Angus Reid is being given some final instructions as Ollie Pufflet skips past 1 and 2 on the far touch line. And then it runs over the byline, the final touch off Shumba Mutakui. And behind for another Rockdale corner. Just about everyone forward for this one. Even Hunter Elliott lurking on the edge of the area for the scraps. Corner is swung in towards the penalty spot. Rising is Rashuto. Gets his head to it, but not the direction required. Just about halfway through the allotted 4 minutes. It is a minimum of 4 minutes, of course. As we do see the Mariners go to their bench for the final time this afternoon. Angus Reid, stripped, readied, prepared for action. Just looking to get confirmation on who the change is. Jordan Small did make his way across to the bench, but he himself was a substitute. Maybe Kai Schumacher, that would be the like-for-like change. Gus Reid, very capable of operating as either a centre-half or a 6. And it was Kai Schumacher who was down receiving some treatment for cramp in the centre of the park. He is making his way off on that far touchline, so I fancy it will be Kai Schumacher taking his leave. It is indeed. Gus Reid to screen in front of that defence for the final couple of minutes here in Rockdale. As Wade sends it forward over halfway. Jablonski hoisting it back into play. Rashuto nods it forward, only as far as Taylor. Now Reid. Back to Mutakui. Woloszewski was keeping him honest. Cuts forward towards Riles and then nodded into touch by Hunter Elliott. Again, hoisted back in by Jablonski. Nodded clear. Rashuto was rising. Jordan Small sends it back into the afternoon sky, giving Riles something to chase. He may just go to the corner. Well, in fact, no, he's just sent that one into the next postcode. About 30 or so seconds of added time remaining. Kreizis gets us back on the move. Elliott, McStay. Is there one last chance here for Rockdale? Not if Jordan Small has anything to say about it. Well, that may have even been on target, really. Wasn't far away, but it's a clearance. Maybe one for the stats. Here's Najjar. Ogla. Najjar will have it back. They need to get it forward quickly to Rockdale. Najjar. Ogla. Najjar again. One last roll of the dice here, perhaps. For Ilinden, the ball from Sorge is a long way behind Elliott, but he's able to keep it in play. McStay. Blocked off. Now it's Motakoyi for the Mariners. Coolness and composure beyond his young years. Mo sends it forward. It's picked out by Najjar. Elliott blocked off, and every touch, every clearance, every defensive action being cheered by the Mariners. Swung in towards Urushevsky. Knocked on! Great save initially, but turned home! Ali Ugla has restored parity!
Number 24, Ali Ugla.
Fantastic save initially from Joel Wade, but nothing he could do about the rebound. Finally beaten. It's been a fantastic performance from Joel Wade, but Ali Ugla slamming that one home. Right at the death here at Ilinden Sports Centre. It's a cruel blow for the Central Coast, but football can be a cruel game at the best of times. The Central Coast Mariners went ahead, courtesy of Harper Riles after a fantastic through ball from Jordan Small. And they held on with all their might, with everything they could. But the final kick of the game proving heartbreaking for the Central Coast. As Ali Ugla slamming home from close range to ensure the spoils shared here at Ilinden Sports Centre. Not disastrous for either team by any means, and perhaps a result that this game deserved. The Mariners are back in action, as we said, on Wednesday night as they travel down to Marconi for that deferred fixture. As for Rockdale, they're back on the road next week as they head to Jubilee Stadium to take on Sydney Olympic. Well, that's a wrap from all of us here at Ilinden Sports Centre. Absolute pleasure having your company, as it always is. But from myself, Pete Pryor, I'll see you all next time. It's bye for now.